Stuart, this is Uncle Tupelo week. Start with looking for a way out. I went with the electric version. I think the guitar playing is more interesting. And like you said, it's not so bluegrassy and kind of chilled out. It'll teach you a few more things, I think. So he does one principal cool thing. He plays on a B minor. Take a B minor and then curve your first finger so the first string is open. That adds an 11th to the chord technically. And he does this move to make it sound like Neil Young, where he does this chord, but he hammers on the middle finger. So you have that dissonance of the open E and then the dissonance of the B going up to the 3rd fret. And then later he used the same B minor, but with a bar, so you get this sound. And that's called a B minor 9. We've seen that in another one of your songs, I don't remember which. So he plays on those two. The only other play, that's not true. The other play is the D chord, going to a D sus4, pinky on, and then pulling these fingers out, so it's a type of 4-note G. So there's a move where he goes, and then he uses the second finger to bend the G string a little bit. So that's a new move. There's also a move on the G chord where he goes to like a G4 kind of shape, but he just puts the root down and he hammers on the B string, sort of like an extended scale, and he goes. He bends more, but we're going to slide because the first two are slides anyways, and we're playing acoustic. So that's the move to work on. In the context I go, which very much feels like an extended scale. And then the final move is to take a flat finger A and to roll the 4th into it. That's the B string at the 3rd fret. So he does a lot of moving between an A and an A sus4, especially in the intro. During the verses and choruses, I'm just going to kind of streamline and make it a chord progression and a strum pattern for you to work up. But the intro, I want to be more detailed, and that's going to take a bit more time and looking at the tab more carefully. So let me give it a shot here. You're going to start with a D, which you play the A string to thicken it up like this. Then we go to that B11 chord with the curved first finger, and we play the root first, and then we hammer on. And then we just strum the chord a second time like this. And you switch to that one finger G and hammer on the B string. Do that double hammer. So it's root, hammer, slide, slide, and then back to D for a root chord. That's an approximation of what the electric guitar does, but it's close. Then he goes in for a second round on the B minor, but this time it's bar, so he can go and go to that B minor 9. So it's root, chord, chord, and then to the first bit where he plays the hammer on with the open strings. Then he goes, and then he flattens again so he can go 3, 2. So when he needs 2, he needs to be barred there. Because you can't really go like that, then it's open. So that whole second B move sounds like this. It seems complicated, but the melody you're trying to get is this. In the context of the B minor, like this. And then comes the A sus move where he goes like this. Let me explain that. You do the root, downstroke with a hammer on, and then down, up, pull off. Again. And that's just the root note pickup. O, O, to O. So then the whole intro would sound like this, with the two different B minor moves. Repeat. He doesn't do an exact repeat, but I'm going to do one. And then you're into the same progression for the verse, but streamlined with a strum pattern that goes root, root, down, down, up to track with the bass drum. So we got root, root, down, down, up, root. using G4 because it rocks a little more. So it's based on the same harmonic structure, but just streamlined to be a strum pattern to be more punchy. Okay, then I'm going to go to the chorus, excuse me. This goes real simple strums. There was a time when you put it out of your mind. Now for the first time, F sharp minor, back to the original strum pattern. And then A. There was a time, the time is gone. Now the post-chorus has its own little vocabulary, its own little structure that's interesting, more like the intro. And how did I write it here? I wrote, I'm going to listen to the recording just really quickly, hear that rhythm again. Okay, that's right. It's involving the D sus, like I said at the beginning of the lesson. So it's root, D, D sus4, G, and then the bend, which should sound kind of sloppy. And if you reinforce it with your first finger, it's almost like you're just bending the whole chord, but the G string is the principal. And the G, 4-note G should be caught on the upstroke. So root, down, up. Wait, root, down, up, up. 2 ups. I'm going to put that in the chart. Root, down, up, up. That helps me. So the second time it's just D, D sus4, and right back. Modify the chart one more time. Okay, that's going to get you through looking for a way out. And now Windfall is considerably simpler, and I know you don't really have a ton of time for 2 songs, so I made this as simple as I could, but it's good for some progression stuff. And the intro is much simpler, but it's pretty. Take a G4 again, same formation, capo 2, and it's... I gotta hear this one again. I know these songs and I've taught them years ago, but I don't know them really well. Okay. So I'm going to slow this down a bunch. You're hammering on the D string and playing the open G with it. That's the move, slowed down. And then you do root, down, up, up. On that second up, I've lifted these 2 fingers because I'm moving them down to C add 9. So it's root, down, up, up. When I get to C add 9, it's just root on the A string, chord. So again. Repeat. Then the verse starts. And here, we're just going to do a basic strum, the down, down, up, down, up, that you know so well. The only unfamiliar things you'll see is an occasional G over F sharp. He's very kind of lazy in a cool rock way about this. He just puts the root on F sharp, but he doesn't change the top part of the voicing. It's not a D over F sharp, which is a bit more convoluted. It's just moving the root down 1/2 step while continuing to play a G chord. Later on, you'll see a G over B following a C chord. That's just a 1-finger version. So you have a single finger on the A string and then 3 open notes. That's it, and then the C add 9 gets used throughout, although there is one normal C. So the verse is kind of like... pure B minor, he loves his B minors. And then first ending, just 2 C's. Back to the beginning. Root, down, up. Back to the original strum. Here comes the B minor. Now this time it's C to G over B and back. It might be faster than that. Like, let me listen to that to clarify it. Let's see here. Okay, so those are all full measures like I initially sort of intuited. So when you get to that second ending on the verse, you get measure. Let the wind take the troubles away. It's a lot like the verse, except for here it divulges or diverges. C at 9, hands on the floor, let the wind take the troubles away. And it repeats with the pedal steel. Great song. I taught this one a lot more. And then the next verse begins, I believe. The intro is pretty. It's very simple, but it sounds really cool. Great chord progression for you. Lots of B minor work, both songs. The intro of Looking for a Way Out is more difficult, but I think it's cool, especially if you ever get interested in electric guitar. But it's still cool. All those moves are great for acoustic. Have fun, bud.